Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports podcast. We're your hosts, as always, Zach and Jake Gardner, and we are here once more, bringing you, the people, what you want. And what is that, Jake?
Well, Zach, that would be all the updates on fantasy hockey.
That's right, Jake. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's right, everybody. We have your fantasy hockey news and updates for the NHL Week 17. We have surprises of the week, storylines, injury news, buy low and sell high trades, and of course, wrapping things up with Scoop 'em Up.
Oops.
Gonna be a blast, so let's jump right into this, huh?
Yeah, even though it was a shortened week, we still had to... Felt like we should go over it, so...
Yeah, there was a ton that we had to get to in these 3 days of games that we had this week, so don't worry, everybody. We got it all for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, surprises of the week. Definitely my biggest surprise is this freaking guy, Mason Marchment. I don't know what drugs he's on, but more players need to get some of that stuff. If you just take a look, if you just take a look at what he's done, like the last couple weeks, he's
gone off.
He's looking like a top player. And then similarly, on the same team, Sam Reinhart. If you take a look at what he's done too, he's been looking really good. But Sam Reinhart, if you remember, Jake, back in like one of our first episodes, doing our like season prep talk, I was kind of down on Sam Reinhart. I didn't think that, because he was like really good on Buffalo last year, and Buffalo was like a crap team. So I usually am not expecting much from players that were really good on a crappy team when they go to a good team. I usually don't think that they're going to perform at the same level. He's actually performing better right now than he did at any point last year when he was the best player on Buffalo. So I don't know, maybe Sam Reinhart has proven me wrong. But
some players can't just be the number one. They're not good enough to match the other number one on a team, but they're good, like they're a great role player.
Yeah,
or a great number 2 or 3.
It looks like he's filling his role very well. But I do have some questions on if it's sustainable. So, stay tuned to find out more of my opinion on Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, okay.
And then, besides those two guys, not a ton of surprises otherwise. Kind of like a normal week, like normal names kind of at the top of the list. Like Austin Matthews at the top of the list. I mean, that's just kind of... I just kind of expect that, that's just kind of how it goes.
Is he still at the top of the list in like standard leagues?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Austin Matthews is definitely at the top of most lists.
Okay.
He'd have to be in like a shitty league setting for him not to be like on the top of a list.
Okay. All right.
Like a league that only counts like face-off points or something, or plus minus. He's even good in that this year. Like his plus minus is like higher than it normally is. He's actually playing some defense this year. So
wow,
Austin Matthews, man.
You sound like the LeBron lovers right now.
Well, I don't know. Austin Matthews, dude. Him and Connor McDavid both, like, if they've been in the league, it feels like they've been in the league like 15 years, but they're both only like 25. Like, it's fucking insane.
Yeah. Do you want to suck them off or what?
Yeah, maybe at the end of the podcast.
Oh my god.
Now we'll break into. I can't believe I just said that on air. Now we'll break into storylines. Seamlessly transition over to storylines here.
Classic seamless.
New kind of segment. I'm workshopping this here, so let me know what you think, everybody. Slump busters. There's a few guys that are kind of busting out some slumps lately, so I just figured we should mention it. Mitchell Marner. If you've been listening, like the three of you out there that listen to every episode, Mitchell Marner. We've been talking about him like pretty much all season about being like a buy low because he's been not performing half as good as he normally does most of the season. But it was because he just was plagued by little riddling injuries that would get him out of the lineup. Like he could never consistently like stay on the ice, and he's just having one of those years. But now, he's been able to put like a couple, 3-4 weeks here together without having anything derail him. And of course, his numbers are getting right back up. So hopefully you were able to buy low over the beginning of the season, because good God Almighty, he has prepared for takeoff and just launched into orbit.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to get some new writers, Jake. I don't know.
I think this is pretty good.
Oh, okay. And then, so Mitchell Marner, he is basically, you're not going to be able to put a trade in for him now. There's no way in hell anybody that's waited on him this long is going to trade him after what he's been doing the last couple of weeks. He is officially back into keeper status. So,
well, they could if they think it's just a hot streak.
Well, history would tell you that it's not, but
there's always a dumb in the league.
There's always a chance. Moving on, next guy on Slump Busters, Patrick Lainey. Hopefully,
I gotta make a graphic for this. Slump Busters. I'm gonna put us in the Ghostbusters uniforms.
Yes. Okay. I love it. All right. So Patrick Lainey, hopefully you were able to buy low on him as well. He's back, baby. Look at his last few weeks. Very good, very good. Well, last 3 games, he's had 6 points in his last 6 games. So he's getting 2 points a night lately. Looks like he's starting to put some things together. So, yeah, he's back.
Oh, yeah.
And then next on Slump Busters, Blake Coleman. He's been very hot and cold this season, but he's looking to put some things together lately. This is a guy you can maybe trade for right now or pick up off of waivers if he was dropped. Like, he's been kind of just picked up as a streamer in most leagues this year. But he's starting to look like he's figuring it out. He's had a good, week. He might, he's worth consideration to get back on your team. I know he can be he's been a little frustrating this year, but I think he's more closer toward hold.
Wait, is this the 10% old guy?
Hold status right now. Yeah, he's looking good over the last week. So I don't know.
He should just be in the grabs.
Yeah, but if he's owned in a really deep league, maybe
deeper league. Yeah.
And then also Tyler Sagan. So of course, right after I say last episode that it's a lost season for him and you can start dropping him, he immediately starts going off. So,
but 2 games.
That just goes without saying that'll happen. But he's definitely worth a look in deep leagues. He's putting up numbers since last Monday.
Oh my God. Yeah, 2 games. I would say if you're an owner, you'd sell high.
Yeah, definitely.
This is your chance to get the headache off your team. But we're gonna
get more into that later. So keep listening to the rest of the episode, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Where am I here?
Evander Kane.
Evander Kane. Yeah, love me some Evander Kane.
He's still not. Well, you probably have to trade for him now, but
still got to mention him.
Wow, he's still only.
Yeah, that's why I put him on here.
Owned.
He's only 60% owned, which
I feel like we have to stop going off of ESPN though, because I've been looking at transaction trends on Yahoo.
Yahoo.
I think I think people aren't using ESPN, bro. We'll talk about it more, but if anyone's listening to this, give us a comment, because when I see it in basketball, and I'm sure it's the same for hockey, it's actually accurate on if a player starts doing well, they're actually being picked up pretty quickly.
Yes, that's because Yahoo leagues are there's a reason for that. Yahoo leagues aren't as big. I don't know about basketball, but I know in hockey, Yahoo leagues are smaller. They're only 15 player rosters, whereas ESPN is 24. So it's actually that's why it's a little bit more accurate on Yahoo, because there's less players on your team. So you are only having the good ones on your team worth picking up. You're not picking up anybody, taking a chance on anybody, like we can in ESPN leagues a little more, because we got bigger benches.
I don't know. I'm in a deep, it might just be a different sport, but I'm in a deep, a 12-team NBA league. And so it's scraps on the waiver wire. So even guys who just had a 2-game streak are already up 15%.
Yeah, I think they're
So it's
smaller in
like,
basketball leagues too, Jake. I don't think they're 24 players.
well,
Or
no, basketball's not 24 anyway. But
oh, well, a
yeah,
hockey is like 15 on Yahoo, so that's why
you
it's a
can't
little
edit it.
more.
That's annoying.
No, that's how it comes. You can't edit it on ESPN either.
That's dumb as hell. I'd rather play ESPN then. Maybe
Yeah.
there's like another format, but anyway.
No, I think that's how it is. Some people like
No,
that.
like maybe
Like you
there's
only.
another program like that you can actually like another fantasy app.
Oh yeah, there is one of the better ones. Um, one of the ones that like legit like dynasty players or a lot of teams that do keeper leagues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They all like fan tracks, and I was trying to talk to our league about switching over to fan tracks, but
Yeah.
I don't think everybody's going to be willing to do that. It's a lot
Maybe
more
when we
involved.
start our second league, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm
Go there.
interested in starting a second league on fan tracks, making it like a dynasty league, but we can talk about that in the future. But
Okay. Anyway, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
Evander Kane though, get him in your lineup, 60% owned. This guy should be up in at least the 80s right now.
He
I
will
mean,
be 90% owned within the next week, I think.
yeah. He has 3 points in 3 games while shooting, blocking, and hitting. I mean, it should not come to us as a
Yeah.
surprise to
He's
anybody that
not
he's a category stud right now.
he's
Like
not
this
keeping
is
up 6, but the past couple of years he's played, he's always
he's close
been
to
at
4.
4. He's always been at 4.
Yeah,
So, and now that he's on a better team, he could be like 4.5 on the year.
and he's averaging. I mean, it's 3 points in 3 games, and he's getting all the other stats like shooting, blocking, hitting, like all of those too, like the subcategories. And he's
Yeah.
doing all of that right now without any power play time. Imagine it when he gets on a power play.
Mhm.
Like this could be like the best half season in like the last few years by anybody. Like he could put up 40 points in this
I
half
think
a
so.
season.
I think he could, dude. It's that talented of a team where like he's opened up, right?
Yeah, and
Like they're
he
not
doesn't.
focusing.
There's not a ton of pressure on him to be like one of the top performers. I think it'll be a little better for him, honestly. It might be the best situation he could have ended up in.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, be trying to get Evander Kane, whether you have to trying to trade for him or if you have him and you're just like, well, I'm either going to keep him or I'm going to try and get Nikita Kucherov with him. You can do whatever you want to do with Evander
Yeah.
Kane
You
right
could
now.
send, you think your brother's some dumb fuck who he's got the most chips in our league for fantasy hockey, and you think you could just swindle him out of a keeper. Go for it. I mean, fuck that kid.
Well, that's okay. You might be the Michael Jordan of actually winning championships, but I'm the LeBron James of making it there and losing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I'm better. So
Oof.
yeah,
Wow. What an argument. It sounds horrible, actually. You must just be a jock rider, but
is there something wrong with that?
yeah, you've been to every championship, right?
Except for one.
Wow. You are LeBron.
Yeah, I've been to like 4 of the 5 and only won one. Um,
Damn.
yeah. Anyways, we won't talk about it.
Yeah,
We won't
it's all right,
spend too
bro.
much time on that. I bought the trophy, and all I do is just give it away. I
Oh
thought
my
I would
god.
have the trophy every year.
Well, you got a good enough team this year. And
Um,
Kane's like a league winner. That's the point
he
here.
could
Like
be.
Kane,
If he stays on the ice. Like, who knows if he's going to do some other
no,
dumb
he's staying
shit.
on the ice, dude. And like, there's always one second half guy who's going to take you to the top, and this might be it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
even if you don't keep him, even if you trade him, you're getting value back for somebody you got for free.
right. So it's just do whatever you can do whatever you want with Evander Kane right now. Keep him, hold him. You could trade for him, or you could have him and sell really fucking high. Like I tried to get Kucherov from Jake this week with using Evander Kane. Just just do
If
whatever
it
you want to do
was
with him.
a regular league, I would consider it because he sent me Kane and Seth Jones, who, if it was a true 2-for-1 where it's not a keeper's league, it's worth it. If it's a keeper's league, it's not worth it because you lose a keeper. But yeah, if it was a regular league, I'd probably take it because
Yeah.
of the value I get from those two guys. So it wasn't a bad trade. I'm just giving you horrible
No.
shit.
Yeah. It's those kind of trades are very tough in keeper leagues when
Mm-hmm.
Nikita Kucherov is like hands down a keeper, where you'd have to think about it to make Seth
You'd
Jones a
have to be
keeper.
willing to know, like, you're never going to have him again in his prime. So it's like,
Right, right.
that's hard.
So
But
we'll
anyway,
move on. Last little storyline. I just want to spend a little bit of time on. I thought you'd like this, Jake.
okay.
NHL All Star Weekend is happening. I usually don't get too wrapped up in the All Star Game stuff, pay too much attention to it, but I do usually tune in to watch the fastest skater competition.
Okay.
Um, and Jake, your boy Jordan Kyrou won it like going away. He was literally flying down the ice. I've never seen
Oh,
anybody skate
shit.
that fast. So usually Connor McDavid wins this every year, but these young bucks are coming in so much faster. Like the NHL is so fast
What
these
about
days for these
Arcane?
kids.
Did he used to win those when in his prime?
Kane never like
He
he's
was the
never really
fastest
been.
guy in the league at one point, people thought.
Yeah, maybe when like 10 years ago I think
Yeah,
he
10
did.
years ago.
I
Yeah.
think he did win the fastest skater competition once, but where Kane was always the winner,
It's the skills.
was the skills one where you're shooting the targets on the net. Like he
Gotcha.
would always win that, or the puck handling,
Uh-huh.
stick handling, where he would just like dangle through all the cones and stuff.
How
He was
did,
always the best at
yeah.
that.
How did Chaz Michael Michaels do
Oh,
in
he
the
did great,
competition?
man. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm
Jesus.
glad to see he's still doing well. He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite guys. Big comeback this year.
Oh my god. Yeah, so now we'll move on to the most fun section of the episode where we talk about injury news. So,
Hell yeah.
not a lot this week, so I'm just going to run through these. Jack Eichel, start off with some good news here. He's going to be cleared for full contact practice after the All-Star break.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely be watching for that. He has potential to be a league winner too if he comes back and actually plays the second half. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Okay.
Alex Ovechkin in COVID protocol. Vitek Vanacek, day-to-day upper body. Matt Dumba, day-to-day upper body. Joel Kiviranta, day-to-day lower body. Braden Holtby, day-to-day lower body. Nick Leddy, day-to-day upper body. Nicholas Haig and Zach Whitecloud are day-to-day with undisclosed injuries. Casey Middlestat, day-to-day upper body. Eric Howla, COVID protocol. Danton Heinen, day-to-day upper body. David Savard on IR. Looks like they're saying like till mid-March. He's got a fractured ankle, so he's going to be out a while.
Okay.
Jonathan Taves, day-to-day with a concussion. And then Josh Norris, the shoulder doesn't require surgery, so that's good news, but he's going to miss another 3 to 4 weeks. But I guess that's better than him missing like 6 to 8 weeks if he had surgery, or maybe even longer. So, and then lastly, with some good news, Nathan McKinnon will return from a broken nose on February 10th, so he'll be back in lineups next week to finish out the week.
Okay.
That's your injury news. Boop,
Hell
boop,
yeah.
boop, 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 boop,
Oh my god.
boop.
Yeah, let's get into these trades, bro. This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into some trades now. This is what we wanted to talk about. Jacob Chikrin. We're starting out with buy low here. Jacob Chikrin. He may get traded soon, like in the actual hockey world. He may get traded to like a contending team for the playoffs.
Okay.
And put up better numbers. I would imagine that if he went to any team but except the worst team in the league, he would put up better numbers. You would not
Mm-hmm.
have to give up much for him right now. You could pretty much get him for like a
Well, he might
couple
have
of
been
like
dropped,
your
right?
worst players, or check the waiver wire, see if somebody dropped him. Like he's on the waiver wire in our league,
Why
but
is the
he is.
NHL's trade deadline so late?
I don't know. I think
It's
it's
March
always that.
21st.
I mean, the league that's about a month, little over a month before the season ends, in like the end of April.
Okay. I'm just comparing to NBA like it's,
Yeah,
next week for NBA.
yeah, that is
That's
weird.
crazy. They should have it late. I think they should have it later like hockey. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that is weird. But you don't have to give up much for Jacob Chikrin right now, and he might even be on your waiver wire. I think he's a guy that you should start to try and add before he gets traded, because once he gets, if somebody holds on to him and then he gets traded to a contending team like Boston or something, nobody's gonna be willing to give you a trade for him at that point. They're just going to be like, "Oh, gonna see." So this is your chance to try and get him before that happens.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
and then another buy low, Anthony Cirelli. I've always liked this guy. I mean, he might not perform crazy too much better than what he's doing right now, but I think there's a chance that he could do a little bit better if he plays on a line with Kucherov. Um, he might get a bunch of points by proxy, if he's on a line with him. I don't know how the lines are shaken up, but I would be interested in Anthony Cirelli potentially being a little bit better rest of season.
Yeah,
So
where could he finish?
I'd be looking into that. He probably. I mean, what is he averaging? I think when I was looking,
3.1.
averaging 3.1 right now. I could see him in maybe like the mid threes if it
Yeah.
goes super
Yeah.
well, like maybe 3.5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, definitely a buy low then.
Yeah, so I think that he'll finish just a tad better, maybe potentially if he plays on the line with Kucherov. I think that there's a chance that could be what they do. So I kind of am interested in that.
Okay.
Because if you can't get Kucherov, maybe you can settle for Cirelli.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then Victor Arvidsson, I just like this guy. He's having a very solid year. You might be able to get him off of waivers too.
Yeah.
But if you're in a very
Great
deep
pickup.
league, he might be owned. But he's been just flying under the radar this whole season. He's been playing great the whole year, but he's just been very low owned. Nobody's really
Mm-hmm.
paying too much attention to the LA Kings, but Arvidsson is having a fantastic season, one of his best ones in the last like 4 years, and just completely flying under the radar. Nobody's talking about him, but he's doing very well. Like anybody that actually owned him in a fantasy team would be happy with him, wouldn't want to be getting rid of him.
Yeah,
I think this is a guy you can trade for. I mean, he might not perform too much better than what he's doing right now, but I just think it's a guy you might want to trade for just because he's been so consistent this whole season already, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I grabbed him.
Yeah, of course you did.
I grabbed him over Blake Coleman actually because
Oh, that's a good move, I think.
I just have a stacked team, so I didn't. Well, and I wasn't ready to drop Travis Konechny yet, even though he's a disappointment.
Yeah,
But I could drop him. I don't know.
yeah.
Anyway,
And then also Kevin Fiala, similarly to Arvidsson, just having a really good, solid season. He's starting to put up more numbers. Like if you look over his last 2 weeks, he might be. I think he's on like an 8 or 9 game point streak right now, and he's just looking very good. I'd be happy with Fiala on my team. This is usually about what he does. I don't know if he'll be doing too much better, but there's not a ton of buy low options out there right now that I think are actually going to be good because at this point in the season, we are kind of starting to realize what players are. So I'm just putting some guys that are kind of performing very decent on here and hoping, maybe you can trade for these guys and hope that they'll give you a little more the rest of the year. You never
mm-hmm.
know when somebody could get on a hot streak and bump their numbers up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just trying to give you some likely guys where that could happen, guys that have been pretty consistent all season, and if they get on a crazy hot streak, their numbers could go up because they're not really going through a bunch of slumps. So those are the type of players that I look at this point for kind of buy low, guys that have just been very consistent.
Yeah, so I
And
have
then
another one. Oh, after
okay.
you go. Okay, I'll go
Yeah,
last.
my last buy low is Nick Suzuki. I've talked about this guy before. He's a young center on Montreal. I just really like this player. He was a rookie last year and performed or not. He wasn't a rookie last. He was a second year guy last year. This is his third year, and he kind of had a real good breakout year last year, and people were expecting him to have an even bigger breakout this year, and it kind of hasn't happened. But he's still performing very good, like in actual hockey terms. Like he's putting up fine numbers, but people thought that he was going to break out into like superstar this year, and that just
Mm-hmm.
hasn't happened yet. And he's still young. I think he's only like 22 years old, 21 years old. So like, but that could happen in the future for sure. It doesn't mean that he's like considered like a bust or anything right now. He's having a very good year. And he's just been pretty consistently good. Like Montreal's most consistent player this whole season I'm definitely interested in trying to trade for Suzuki. I think there's a lot that he could give you over the rest of the season, and he fills up all categories too. He's great in a categories league. He just does a lot.
Sure. Yeah, and then I still wanted to know if you would buy low on Travis Konechny, just because
Even though Philly's a
could he have a
dumpster
second
fire,
half?
I
Yeah.
think I think he could have a second half for sure. Especially if they end up trading Claude Giroux. That would just give Konechny more ice time, and it would basically be he'd be like the leader of the team then.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, that they might trade him, but
Yeah, so I think I'd be interested in Travis Konechny. I would definitely pick
probably
Konechny
get him
up
really
if
cheap.
you dropped him. Yeah,
He's not. He's still 75% owned, so he's probably not dropped. But
yeah. Well, you were
yeah.
saying that you might drop him, but
Well, yeah. I can't bring myself to do it. But
yeah.
if he got under 3 and like kept going down, I might. Anyway, yeah. So eyes,
So highs. So
dude, get the hell off. Let's just go into the second one right away.
yeah.
Get the
So
hell off this train, dude.
Devin,
Are you kidding me?
Devin Taves. This guy, you need to start moving off of.
My
No,
God.
no, it's the same thing I've been saying this whole time. I'm just beating a dead horse with it. Like,
Yeah.
keep him, and enjoy how good he's doing, or try and get like Victor Hedman or something, or Cale Makar or something with it. Like, if you're
Okay, I'll send that
that
right now.
was
I'll tell you how it goes.
yeah, you send him, maybe him and Evander Kane for like Victor Hedman. See if that could work. But yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you that you need to go trade Devin Taves. I don't know, I just don't trust it. There's just something in my back of my mind like, ooh, I don't know. Like I'd be a little nervous if I had him, that
Oh
he could
my
fall off
God.
at any time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I mean by Devin Taves. Just play it smart. Same thing with Evander Kane. I don't think Evander Kane is a bad player because I have him on sell high. I just think that Evander Kane's value right now is very high, and
Yeah.
you'd be a fool not to throw him
Yeah, I
out there
agree.
and see what you could get. That's the same thing with Devin Taves. His value continues to be very high, and
Yeah.
he's proving that he's being consistent. I don't think a lot of people are going to be keeping Devin Taves, so why not try and trade him, especially in a keeper league or something? Just if you do keep him, I don't know if that's the smartest move because I don't know if he's keeper level yet, but he's performing very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the real sell highs here, Sam Reinhart. He's kind of going off the last few weeks, bringing his numbers up. He's averaging close to 4 now. He's like at 3.7. I just don't think he's going to sustain that. I'd be trying to trade him right now, just trying to move off. I just don't trust it. I think there's a lot better players on Florida. I don't think he might keep it up, but I don't know. I feel like you could I think you could get something decent for him in return.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something that is a chance to be a little more consistent. So that's what I'd be trying to do. Same thing with Tyler Sagan. I mean, he's had 2 good games now. Maybe you need to see a little more from him before you start dangling him out there as trade bait.
Mm-hmm.
But if he puts up like a couple more good weeks, Tyler Sagan, I think that people would definitely be interested just because of his name value. So you always got to be vigilant with that and just be watching how they're doing. And you never know when somebody's value could go up a little bit and you could get a trade done. So
Agreed.
any other sell highs you got, Jake?
Um, I'm looking right now at my team, but I mean, I feel like you kind of hit it. I don't. Yeah, I got nobody else. I mean, Poink is like a buy low. Pionk,
Yeah, he would be a buy low.
because
I
he's
don't want
left
to start putting
on.
him on there yet because
He's been pretty bad.
I think it's a given that he's gonna turn it around. So
Would you do
I don't want to
Poink for
start
Evander
mentioning it.
Kane 1-for-1?
Probably not 1-for-1.
Wow.
You would have to throw in you just have to throw in like a low forward.
So Cirelli.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Okay, we'll talk after.
Okay.
But yeah, other sell highs. I mean, maybe in a deep league, you can, if somebody needs a goalie, you could sell high on Mikko Koskinen because, I mean, he's for Edmonton, he's the starting goalie, and he's going to get wins because they're just dominating.
Yeah, no,
So he's
for sure.
basically like
That's
he's
actually a
like
great sell high.
he's like 5 points a night, no matter what, right now until Mike Smith comes back, which we don't even know if that's
Which
happening.
we don't even know. Yeah, that's a good call, Jake. I like that.
So he's
Definitely
also a
Koskinen.
scoop, like if you, nobody has him, but because we talked about him
Yeah,
last week as a scoop, but like he kept it up for the 3 days or whatever before the All Star break, but still, I think he's locked in to get you 5+ average as a goalie, and as a goalie,
yeah,
that's hard to come by this late in the season for a grab. And if a team doesn't have a goalie at all, like they got an injury to their main goalie, or they just didn't draft well enough to get one, that wasn't their
yeah,
draft strategy, they might need one right now for the playoffs just to get those extra points.
yeah. I agree.
Um, but yeah, that's it for me. I
But yeah, that's kind of like our. Well, we'll use him as like the first scoop for scoop him up, Koskinen. We did talk about him last week. If he's available in your league, I definitely think he's worth a pickup right now. He's just going off,
Can I just
and
say
he's
my top scoops real quick?
yeah, sure,
I think it's Koskinen, Blake Coleman, and then Victor Arvidsson, since he's only 21% owned.
okay,
But
definitely
yeah,
Victor Arvidsson, guys. I That's a good one. And then we'll break into scoop him up. My top scoop right now, by even more than Jake's guys, maybe close to Koskinen right now, maybe close on his level. Mason Marchment. This guy is must add. He's averaging 4.2 in our league. That's crazy. That's a very high number. Something you would not expect from a guy you're picking up in the midseason. Um, he's getting good minutes. He's getting power play time. This guy is a must-add guy, and just see how long it lasts. It could last the rest of the year.
hmm
Um, it could be another league-winning move if this is for real here.
yeah, for sure.
And then a guy to consider, Peter Marazzic. We've been kind of talking about him the last couple of weeks. He's starting to get a little more starts. Like Jack Campbell, they were just using him. He was their only goalie for like the beginning of the season when Peter Mrazek got hurt like the first week of the season. They
hmm
weren't able to give Jack Campbell really hardly any rest, and they just worked him into the ground, and his numbers are starting to go down a little bit just because this All-Star break couldn't have came at a better time for Jack Campbell because I just think he needed rest so bad. But Jack Campbell's given up a lot more goals now. Peter Mrazek's coming into the game, you know,
hmm
after the first period a lot of the times. Like
Did
he's
you
just
grab
getting
him yet? No, you didn't grab him.
I didn't grab him. I want to wait to see that he's officially getting more starts because they're still
Yeah,
giving Jack Campbell starts and he's just not able to finish the game. So Mrazek's coming in more, but it's weird how it's playing out, and I don't know if I'm fully ready to jump on that train yet because I do
yeah,
have four pretty good goalies that it would be kind of hard for me to drop one of them for Marazzic, who I'm not 100% sure is like going to get 60% of the starts right now. So when I have four goalies that are getting 60% of the starts, I don't want to drop one of those guys for a guy that is a 50-50 or less.
yeah. Agreed.
Um, so I think you pick Peter Mrazek up as a streamer right now, or
hmm
just wait a little bit, keep him on your watch list, and just keep seeing how he does. And if you see him put like three starts in a row together, I think that's when you pounce and pick him up.
Gotcha. All right.
And then Blake Coleman, Jake and I both have been mentioning him. Just he's at the very least he's worth a stream just because he never gets you zero. He'll get you hits and blocks and stuff. He'll at least get you a couple points on like a Sunday to get you a few extra points. And then he's actually starting to put some scoring together now, so I think he's starting to be more worth a pickup now. And then Adam Larson, defenseman on Seattle, he's looking pretty good right now. He's actually getting some scoring. He's not normally a guy that scores.
hmm
He's normally just a banger. Um, he'll always get you the hit and block points. So he's always a pretty good guy to add as a streamer on like a Sunday. Get you a bunch of hits. but not. He's been actually for the last couple weeks kind of flying under the radar scoring wise. Like he's been getting some assists. Like it's not your typical Adam Larson. It's not your grandma and grandpa's Adam Larson here. This is a new Adam Larson. So
Oh my god.
um so I kind of like him. He's definitely in like top streamer category still. I don't know if he's a hold, but he's definitely like top streamer guy right now. If he's playing a game and you need to pick up some D, I'd be picking up Adam Larson like whenever you need D.
Definitely need some D.
And then Ilya Mishiev, I like him as a pickup. I think he's a hold. Looks like he's coming into his own, having a small little breakout. I don't want to say he's having a breakout season just yet because it's only been like 4 weeks, but he's looking very good. I just don't. There's not much else to say about him. He's just doing really good. I think he's worth a pickup, and he should be higher owned than he is. And then similarly, but on that level, Alex Kerfoot, definitely in the streaming category. If you need to pick up some like assists or goals or just get some points, Alex Kerfoot's a good bet because he is getting some power play time on Toronto, and he's looking pretty decent out there. I think he's a guy you can consider for streaming category. And then Jake said at the beginning, a scoop him up here, Mikko Koskinen. I just think this guy's a must-add goalie right now. Just getting every single start.
Yeah, you got to see if he can keep it up, and if he does, like it's a steal.
Yeah,
but it could just end up being a drop. I don't know. He's old, right? I mean,
yeah, he's old, but I mean he's on one of the best teams. So.
Yeah, so if he doesn't have to play goalie much, he's just sitting there, then he'll be fine.
Well, you got anything else, Jake?
No, I just really want to do that trade for my boy,
Evander.
Yeah, and I think, like you kind of said, but the guy you were talking about should also be a scoop, Jacob Chikrin.
Yeah. Well, he's 72% owned.
He's 72% owned, but like competitive leagues, people dropped him obviously because we're a heavy competitive league. There's really not usually guys to grab, and he's available.
Yeah, no, definitely work sooner than later because he's going to be. He's going through.
Yeah.
I would be getting on that. At time,
probably just drop Jake Oettinger because I have 4 goalies right now, and I don't need 4 goalies.
Well, yeah, I mean you got guys to drop on your crap ass team, and
Oh my god.
Anyways, we're getting kind of goofy here, but
that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me too. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and just remember to go follow us on our social media. We have Facebook, facebook.com/Garden of Sports Podcast. We have Instagram.
Yes,
Instagram.com/Garden of Sports.
Yes, sir.
And we got Twitter. Twitter.com/GOSPod2021. You heard that correct. Twitter.com/GOSPod2021. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll be back next week with another hockey episode.
Yeah, with NHL back in action.
It's going to be litty lit.
All right.
See you, everybody.